you will see people's true colors. And I'm not talking about who you're working with, but the people you serve. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Haika if you are new here. Today we're gonna be talking about time management, specifically with balancing working an on-campus job while you're in college. And so this is something I love talking about because I work an on-campus job at my university. I have for a year and I've learned so much through the process. And for anyone who's interested in not only going to college, but working while in college, I think this would be a good video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe and share it with someone who you think would need this information right here today. Let's get started. So basically throughout this whole video, I'm going to be sharing my experience and then some advice and tips that I could share about how you can successfully work in college while still maintaining everything else in your life. And so first we're gonna start with why I decided to work. If I'm gonna be really honest, I had no choice but to work. When it came to attending Baylor University, which is the university I attend, there was basically unspoken agreement of just like, if I want to attend and if I want to be able to survive here, I have to provide my own means of financial support. My parents weren't gonna do it, I had to work for it. And so I knew that going into college, I agreed to the terms. So when I got here, it didn't take long for me to search for an on-campus job. I got work study from my FAFSA. And so that work study is basically a sum amount, like a lump sum amount of money that the government gives you that you earn through working. And usually I think it's through working on campus. If you're applying for FAFSA and you get a work study, take advantage of that, because that's literally money that the government is giving you and all you have to do is work for it. Like a regular job, I guess. I don't think they take taxes out of the work study. Like every paycheck you earn is literally every dollar amount of money that is in the work study, and you just earn it over time. So I would recommend, if you have work study, take advantage of that, because that's how I got my job. And so basically the money that you earn through work study goes to your bank account and you can spend it however you like. I know like maybe in the past, like that money goes towards paying off your tuition or other school fees, but where I work and with my work study, the money goes straight into my bank account and then I get to spend it how I please, which is spend wisely, okay? But there is a cap, like there is a limit to how much money you can earn through working when you have a work study. And so that's why it's like a sum amount, because once that amount runs out, you're out of your work study for the year. And then I don't know what happens after that because I haven't reached that point, but so for me, getting a job on campus was pretty easy. One day I went into my library, I saw a flyer that was advertising for a dining service job on campus, and I was like, I need a job and I need it now. And so I emailed the email that was on the flyer, and from there it was smooth sailing. And so literally, if you want a job and if you're actively searching for one, you will find one, especially on campus, depending on what the job is. Since my job that I got was dining services, it's a less desirable job, but because of that they pay more, and then they hire more people because they know a lot of people don't want to work in dining services. And so I just took advantage of that, and I've been working there for a year and it's been great. I know a lot of universities have like this whole list of job listings through their university website, or just ask around, ask people who are working in the positions that you want to work for at your university. And I don't think it should be that difficult. Again, depending on the job you want. Especially if you have work study, I think they are in fact more accepting of those who have work study because it's through the government and all that. So like you can use it to your advantage as well. If you don't care what job you have and you're just looking to make some quick cash, dining halls are a great place to start. And so a lot of people don't like working at the dining halls because like a lot of jobs on campus, you can work and do your homework. It doesn't require that much labor. But with the dining hall, like you have to be on your feet. You have to be serving at all times, at least where I work. So like that's why a lot of students don't go for jobs like that. Also with that, it's like food service workers, and food service is a pretty like low status type of job, and like I guess people don't want to scar their image because of it. But if you don't care, like I didn't care, okay? I wanted a job and I needed a job. So I would recommend looking at your dining halls. If you're like me and you're just looking for some money, check your dining hall, okay? Because they might help you out. So now we're gonna get into balancing work with school. And so I think it's very important that you balance your work and your work hours with the hours you're spending studying or in class. I think that's a very important thing. Personally, I think that your school should be your first priority, and then through that you work out your work schedule after you figured out your school schedule, because you're there to study, you're there to get an education, you're there to get a degree. I think that should always be first, and then work is just your means of being able to achieve that. So it shouldn't be, to me, the primary priority. And just know that the decisions you're gonna make and the hours you're gonna spend on each one requires sacrifice in another area. Be aware of that and be okay with that. Just know your costs and your benefits for each decision you make, and ask yourself if you will be willing to pay the cost. So for example, if you decide to work more hours, that means less hours to study, to go and have fun and be social with your friends, less hours you can spend committing to clubs and organizations. I'm not in Greek life, but I have a lot of friends in Greek life who all the time I hear it's a big time commitment and you need to really be involved in that. And then if you decide that you're gonna work less hours, that means you're gonna earn less money. I think a lot of people, that's not a big deal, especially since they're in college. But for someone like me who I'm having to provide for myself, I'm gonna need those extra hours, and I'm going to have to balance it out with the hours I'm taking in school. And so that's where it gets a bit tricky. But know that no matter what you do and what decisions you make, you're gonna have to sacrifice in some areas, and you're gonna have to be okay with that. If you are working on campus through a work study, I think the most you can work per week is 20 hours anyway. And so there's that cap right there. But even then, balancing that with school, 20 hours is a lot. So you have to be careful with that as well. So for example, if you're in STEM or if you're taking harder classes, it probably would be wise for you to work less. If you're in a sorority or fraternity, it's probably wise for you to work less than average. But if your schedule's more relaxed, for example, if you're a business major like me, we got all the time in the world, okay? So you can probably work more and earn more and save up and use your business skills to really build up that cash, if you know what I'm saying. So now we're gonna go into some of the pros and cons of working on campus while you're in college. Some of the pros include making money, obviously. If you use your work study, again, they don't take taxes out of your check. And so I think that is one of the biggest rewards of working. You don't have to take in travel time, especially, so if you're a freshman on campus, a lot of these campuses want you to live on campus, right? If you're working on campus, you don't have to drive from one location to another. It would be a 5-minute walk from my dorm to the dining hall where I worked. And it wasn't that deep, it wasn't that bad at all. You can grow your skill and your experience and your ability to manage multiple things at once and balance your priorities and balance your time. I think through working on campus, I've really gained a lot of experience in having to balance my time and analyzing what's important to me. You learn how to balance multiple things at once, which makes you, I think, more versatile in that sense with just life. And so I think that's a very good skill that everyone should learn and have. And so working a job really helps with doing that. You get perks. Depending on the job you work, you can have a lot of different perks and advantages. Since I work at the dining hall, I get to eat for free while I'm working, while I'm there on the job. That saves me a lot of money, to be honest. That saves me a lot of grocery shopping money that I don't have to spend. And so depending on where you work, make sure you know what advantages and perks they offer. For example, the biggest one I can think of is if you're an RA or go to Baylor University is CL, where if you get that job, I think you get free housing. I think you also get a free meal plan, and you get a stipend on top of that. I don't know how much better it can get than that, to be honest. Really take advantage of the perks and the benefits that they give you while you're working. Another pro of working specifically on campus, if you're a college student, is that a lot of these managers and everything that you're working for, because they know you're a student, they're very flexible and accommodating with your schedule. And so like if I ever needed a day off, or if I needed to take a few hours off, the managers and the staff that I work for, they have been the most accommodating people and the most flexible with me because they know I'm a student first. So I think that's a perk for working on campus. Off-campus jobs while you're in college, I don't know. Every job's different, but I think a lot of these on-campus jobs know to put you as a student first before you're a worker. So some of the cons of working an on-campus job is that you miss out on certain events and certain memories. I mean, depending on how much you're working and when you're working, you could miss out on a lot of memories and experiences and fun times or whatever. Like, that's bound to happen at some point. Last year, because I was working, this is a very traumatic experience for me, but it's fine. I worked on the night that the national championship basketball game was happening, and I couldn't miss work, and so I had to miss that experience. When will there be another time that Baylor University will win a national basketball championship? Like, tell me when that could ever happen again. Like, that was very much a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and because I was working, I missed out on that. You will have moments where you probably will miss out on some experiences, and especially if you're a freshman, I think that's really a prime time to really like make memories and stuff like that, because it's all new to you and you want to just like take advantage of as much as you can. I don't work weekends anymore, so that I have more time to do the things that are more bound to happen on the weekends. So it's just a matter of just balancing your schedule and figuring out like what days you're willing to work and when you know like certain things fall on certain days. The money you make is limited. That's mostly due to, if you have a work study, the cap that they have on how much money you can earn, and then the wage amount. I think that's pretty well known, is that like you're not gonna get a high wage working at an on-campus job. I haven't run out of the money yet because I just don't work that amount of hours enough to gain all the money back. And because of how many hours you can work a week, like that limits your money too. Not that I think anyone should be working over 20 hours, like that feels like a lot to me. This is specifically if you work at a dining hall. You will see people's true colors, okay? And I'm not talking about who you're working with, maybe them too, but the people you serve. I think it's less prominent on college campuses. I think college students have more of an understanding of each other in terms of like, we're all just trying to make it, especially if you go to a university that, I don't know, holds a more wealthier group of people. You will see people's true colors and how they treat people who serve them. And so I've experienced that quite a bit working at the dining halls, of just people who you can kind of tell that they think that they're above you because you're serving them and you're working this job and they don't have to, or they just have never worked a job in their life, and then they're just looking at you like, from the body language, from their facial expressions. Like, to contrast to that though, there are a lot of people, like, they're very polite. I met so many polite people. It is kind of sad to know that like some of these people are just like looking down on you because of that. And I can just tell, like, I'm not even just assuming, like, I can tell. We can tell. Okay, so you lose out on time to study for exams or important projects or tests or stuff like that. If you work, that's less hours going into school priorities and studying priorities. So that's also one of the biggest cons that could happen with working on campus. So that's why it is important for you to have a balance and to be realistic with how many hours you're willing to work and how many hours you're willing to sacrifice from studying and school and all of that. You have to be realistic. Plan accordingly is all I can say. I think everyone should experience having an on-campus job while they're on campus. I think it's one of the best experiences you could have that will have value in the future. It's not the most fun, it's not the most like enjoyable at times, but I know in the end it's gonna pay off. I think everyone should hold a job at least once in their life while they are in college and take advantage of any work study that they could gain from the FAFSA. I have so much respect for student workers. Every time I see a student worker, I'm like, I get it, okay? We get each other, because we understand like we're having to grind 2 times as much to get to where we need to go. Like, we get it, I get it, I get you. If you're a student worker, I get you, okay? I get it. But that is the end of today's video. I really hope you guys gained some sort of insight with what it's like working in college while you're studying. Get a job, okay? It's a good time. We have fun, we get lit sometimes. Like, it's fun. I love the people I work with, and the work environment I'm in overall is very much a blessing, and so it makes me want to continue to go to work, and it's not like this heavy burden on me. If you liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you for staying till the end. I'll see you guys next week. It's a wrap.